Let it be known that the true light shines in every woman and man that cometh into the world. The true light that shineth in the darkness, but the darkness comprehendeth it not. Let us all within air of this true light fellowship hour bear witness to the true light within, that we may, like the real and living Messiah, Yahshua Christ, who many know today as Jesus Christ, pick up and bear our own cross, that we may be worthy of the Messiah by way of the Christ or Christ consciousness, known also as the first resurrection. And as we are now living in these times, let us all rise from our sleep and slumber and do the works of the Most High Heavenly One this day and every day, as we say, Amun, 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 and Namastu, which simply means, I bow to the divinity in you. Well, Namastu again, and welcome to another Sunday service here at the Holy Qubtic Church of the Black Messiah. As always, my name is Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Ka-Hun, Anku Sa Ra. And as always, we like to greet our listening congregation, those of you who've allowed us into your homes via the radio or Facebook or YouTube. We thank you for allowing us into your presence, and we invite you into our presence any Sunday at 9 a.m. for our Sunday service here at the Holy Qubtic Church in historic Baintown on Meadow Street, or any Wednesday at 7 p.m. for our True Light Fellowship and Bible Study, which is more of a question and answer type of fellowship, whereby you can ask us whatever it is you wish to ask, and we do our best to answer those questions. And for those of you who did make it on this beautiful Sunday morning, I give thanks it's not too hot. Namastu. How are y'all doing? Beautiful, beautiful. So today, there's a lot going on, as always, but today we're continuing with our series on the African origins of the 12 tribes of the scriptures. We're on our 7th part, and today we're going to be touching on the tribe of Yashar. Some would say Jasher, right? And so the subtitle of today's sermon is, God cannot guide you if you are not willing to guide yourself. God cannot guide you if you are not willing to guide yourself. And of course, in the Holy Qubtic Church, we will say, Anere cannot guide you if you are not willing to guide yourself. And so, I was up until just now putting this sermon together, and it wasn't because it was a last minute thing. It was that there's so much that I want to tie into what it is that the Most High is guiding me to share with you. And so we can afford to talk with God and Christianity in this country, but reality is, if we're not willing to guide ourselves, then you might as well close shop. You might as well close. Because see, we ain't fooling nobody. You understand? The emperor naked. You understand? And we know he naked. You know, we could have pretended like he wasn't naked maybe, 30 years ago. But not in 2015. Matter of fact, the emperor got to stay inside the bulletproof car now. He could afford to be naked. You see? And so, I want to share some quotes with you today that I've been reading. All right? From Martin Luther King Jr. Because every time we have a Martin Luther King Jr., he might as well have been selling night well. Because he already talking about having a dream. According to these people. Right? But Dr. Martin Luther King definitely wasn't only talking about no dream. The first quote reads, "A civilization can flounder as readily in the face of moral and spiritual bankruptcy as it can through financial bankruptcy." Say it again. A civilization can flounder, can fail, as readily in the face of moral and spiritual bankruptcy as it can through financial bankruptcy. Now, in our country and in our world, money is the focus. Okay? And as long as money making, we turn a blind eye to anything else that's going on. Okay? We did it in the 80s when it was snowing around here. Right? And now we're suffering from all that snow. We have snow babies. Them snow babies. People tell me, what you talking about snow? Coke, crack. You had crack babies. And now the crack babies is crack parents. It's true, that's what we're dealing with. We trying to figure out what's going on, but actually we are spiritually and morally bankrupt. Okay, we're spiritually and morally bankrupt. And if we just take a look right now, let's go to Amos chapter 7. Amos chapter 7. Because what we're going to see is something that, unfortunately, is lacking in the country. But it ain't for the Most High not trying to guide us and explain to us the reality of it. So Amos 7. Let's see. We start at verse 1. Thus hath the Lord God showed unto me, and behold, he formed grasshoppers in the beginning of the shooting up of the latter growth, and lo, it was the latter growth after the king's mowings. And it came to pass that when they had made an end of eating the grass of the land, then I said, O Lord God, forgive, I beseech thee, by whom shall Jacob arise, for he is small. The Lord repented, for this it shall not be, said the Lord. Thus hath the Lord God showed unto me, and behold, the Lord God called to contend by fire, and it devoured the great deep, and did eat up a part. Then said I, O Lord, cease, I beseech ye. By whom shall Jacob arise? For he is small. The Lord repented, for this also shall not be, saith the Lord. Thus he showed me, and behold, the Lord stood upon a wall made by a plumb line, with a plumb line in his hand. And the Lord said unto me, Amos, what seest thou? And I said, a plumb line. Then said the Lord, behold, I will set a plumb line in the midst of my people, Israel. I will not again pass by them anymore. And the high places of Isaac shall be desolate, and the sanctuaries of Israel shall be laid waste. And I will rise against the house of Jeroboam with the sword. So Amos is having some visions, and he's trying to figure out how his people are going to, how he can stand against the tides. We up against a lot of tides right now. As we talked about just now, in a day and time where we are morally bankrupt. You understand? It's not about being the voice for the people in politics anymore. It's about towing the party line. It's not about actually trying to figure out what you could do for your country. It's about what they doing for me. You understand? And yes, it should go both ways. But unfortunately, we have this gravelicious mentality now. And so the Most High say he would set a plumb line in the midst of his people. Well, when you are governing a country, or if you simply leading your family as a mother or father or caregiver, you cannot be a rule unto yourself. You cannot decide, I'm going to make up the rules. There is something bigger than each and every one of us that whether we want to or not, we have to succumb to it. Death will knock on everyone's door, and once that happens, you can no longer speak for yourself. That's when the judgment begins. Because you can't say what you meant to do. We only can figure out what the annals of history and time says you did. And the ultimate judgment, of course, is based on your intentions. That's what we will never know that. Only you will know your intentions. But that plumb line is an instrument that we've even been using right here in this Kanisa as we've been building. Because our eyes could see something and we could say, well, that looks balanced, or that looks level, or that looks straight. But we've even learned as the operative mason, the operative carpenter, the operative builder, that you can't trust your eyes. You can't just look at something and say, yeah, man, that's straight. No, bring me the level. Bring me the plumb line. So that we can be sure. Because why? We are not a law unto ourselves. We can't say we won't build a building that's structurally sound and aesthetically pleasing if we're not going to utilize the tools that have been put in place to allow for us to do that. But that's what morality is. Morality is the plumb line. That's what your conscience is. Your conscience is the plumb line. Your conscience says to you, but you know that ain't right though. You know if you was living in Marathon, you'd want them people investigate what's going on though. You know that. Yeah. That's what your conscience, I ain't care what none of them say, that's what their conscience saying. You know if that was your mother with cancer, you would have been raising Cain around here. You know that. That's what all their conscience is telling them. But they say, well, you know what, we can rest the plumb line down. We can rest the level down. Because it look level. You sure you don't want to check with the tool? You can't have all those job sites with that type of attitude. Huh? You building the people house now. Huh? You get the wall going, and the fella say, well, let me run in the truck and I can grab the level. Hey? Let me make sure this wall. No. This wall looks straight. Be good. Boss man, you sure now? I mean, it looks straight to me too now, but I want to be sure. You understand? And that is how we are running the country today. We didn't put no plumb line or no level out when it came to carnival. We didn't put no plumb line or no level out when it came to this Ruber spit. Amen? And so, it's a warning for us now because we have to step up. Because we have to be the plumb line. We have to be the level. You understand? And just like that young Attorney General in Baltimore, I watch Ferguson and they must take, how much months they take? Months. To decide through the grand jury that they ain't gonna indict this man. How much days she take? That was a week? About a weekend. 10 days. 10 days. See, 9 is a cycle. She take that 9. He said, I thoroughly investigated. So she get him 9 days. Yes. And on the 10th day, yes, my word. I've seen enough. That's it. We going to trial. No grand jury. No special prosecutor. That's what being a plumb line is. And it's the mentality. She's 35, you see. So she ain't caught up in the muck and the mire that a lot of others are caught up in. Because she know I gotta live here longer than y'all. That's right. If this how my career can start. And this ain't our first high profile case. But this is probably the most high profile one now. Right? But the point of the matter is, oh man, the nation watch it. They putting those men laughing in the line, baby. I ain't just look around and say, well, I think they're guilty like that, you know. You know what? I have the gall and the gumption. Let's have a grand jury. That's what we like to do in this country, you see. We like to have counsel. I'm going to form a committee. I mean, elect no committee boss. Boss man, when we was finding X, committee wasn't on the ballot. Boss man, we elect you to make some hard decisions. So don't tell me about no committee. And so Andre Rollins put the test to them.
Absolutely.
He say, let me hear from all y'all now who publicly will vote to say whether they do or don't want to actually look at this thing. Right? So the next quote, well, I'm going now to the original books of the Bible. Still talking about this moral bankruptcy. Page 220. Because the question is, why? Where is our plumb line going? Why is it so easy for us now to fall or yield to temptation, or toe the party line, or toe the gangster line, or toe the peer pressure line? They ain't the politicians. See, I ain't had to beat up on the politicians, you know. I ain't had to beat up on them because, unfortunately, they are just as caught up as everybody else. I don't care how much show fund thing they get. They just as caught up. Page 220. All right. This is coming out of the original books of the Bible. And we're reading from book number 12, the book of the Tamarain Adama, or the ancient African Adam. And so I just want to read one verse on page 220, verse 84. May your hearts be glad. This is because countless billions of millennia after the original seeding of life on Tar Iridani was performed by the guardian angelic host Tahuti and Ka-Hun, there came a point in humanity's development where the divine gene was no longer found in all whom were born on Tar Earth. So this goes deep into our story, all right? And this is why last week we talked about being well-read about who we are. We're not well-read enough about who we are. And so anybody who calls themselves an expert to come stand over us and tell us who we are. All right? So this actual quote or verse is talking about the fact that we have lived on many different planets in this galaxy and outside of this galaxy. I know that sounds far-fetched to some people because, again, they don't read about who they are. You can't say you have a celestial origin. I didn't say you have a celestial origin. Yes, you said you have a celestial origin because you say you have a place in heaven. And heaven is not on earth. Heaven is not inside this planet. So if you have to come outside this planet, heaven is in outer space, eh? When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, where they come from? When Satan gets sent to earth, meaning he wasn't on earth. If you're getting sent to the shop, I mean, you started the shop. So if Satan was cast out of heaven to earth, I mean, he wasn't on earth. He was in heaven. So heaven can't be on earth. All right? So one of these abodes is a planet called Iridani. It's a constellation called Eridanus. All right? right below Orion constellation. What does this have to do with the Bible? This ain't in my Bible. Yes, this is in your Bible.
That's right.
Right under the word heaven. Oranos. Every time you see the word heaven, it's the word Oranos. And we can say why that's important in this particular sermon today. Just remember Oranos. But right now, I just want to focus on the fact that after we had been seated, or the breath of life had been blown into us and we became living souls, after many years, it says there came a point in humanity's development where the divine gene was no longer found in all who were born on tar earth. The divine gene. What's the divine gene? Well, in order to understand the divine gene, you have to go to Psalm 82. All of you are what? Gods and children of the Most High. So that divine gene is the what gene? It's the divided gene. Because the word divine and the word divide, as my good elder and brother and the Ka-Hun from the UK, Ka-Hun Horace Wright, he was explaining that to me one time while he was here, and he was like, no, the word divine is the word divide, because we're divided. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth. And the place where heaven and earth meet is in you. You supposed to be carrying the plumb line, the level of heaven through the earth. And you're supposed to be one of the builders of morality in the planet by doing what? By measuring everything with that plumb line and with that level and with other tools that the Most High Heavenly One gave you. So you ain't judging people. You can't judge me. Ain't nobody judging you. Stand still and put this level against you. I'm going to show you something. Bubble, you see that bubble? A bubble in between them two lines. Huh? You didn't balance. It's like you know.
Yeah.
The first person we put the level on is ourselves.
That's right.
You put that level on yourself every day. All right, let's see.
What you mean?
Let's see. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And so we then have put down that. We've put down that plumb line. We've put down that level, and this is what the original books of the Bible is talking about. Insofar as that divine gene has been lost. That's why Amos was saying, "Mom, but Israel's so small. Israel's so small." In other words, there's so few who actually have a conscience anymore. See, because consciousness is not conscientiousness.
That's true.
Because you could know everything but nothing. The scientists who built the hydrogen bomb, they had plenty consciousness. They knew science. Anytime you're making bombs, you better know what you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing, then we all will know that you didn't know what you was doing. when you become a part of the bomb, the detonated bomb. But their conscience wasn't a part of making that bomb. Because how could you make a bomb or anything that could actually destroy the planet that you on? You know how stupid you have to be to do that? You really have to be dumb to do that, you know. You making something what you on the boat. I like plane better. You on the plane.
That's right.
You see, boat could sink slow and you could jump off in it. Plane, you on the plane. With your first class ticket. So you think you're special now, see, because you're in first class. Right? But like I always say, the voice recorder, where the voice recorders be? In the tail. See how they tricked us?
That's right.
I want you to understand what they did now. They make you pay for a first class ticket and they put you in the front of the plane. And you come off the plane and they put you in the back of the car. To chauffeur you. Why they don't chauffeur you in the back of the plane too? But, okay, let me say it this way. They put the box recorder in the tail because that's the part of the plane that most likely ain't gonna be mingled during the crash. So that's the safest part of the plane.
That's right.
So if I can spend more money,
Put me in the box.
put me in the back, man. Put me next to the voice. Your voice is fine now. I understand it. Every time planes crash, y'all is fine. Now, where the box is? In the tail? Well, no, I paid first class. But let me sit. I'm gonna sit right back there by the tail. You understand? Because actually, when I came to the airport, I was sitting in the back of a car, not in the front. Special people don't sit in the front. The chauffeurs sit in the front. You understand? So, you're on this plane, and you carrying a bomb where it could blow up. But you know what you say? You say, I sitting in the front. So, since I put the bomb in the back, honey, be good. Be straight to you know. People in the back, they can be in trouble. But you understand, plan. When you ain't carrying your divine compass or your divine plumb line or your divine level, you don't think. Right? So the divine gene has been lost. But why now? Another quote, Martin Luther King Jr. The profit motive. The profit motive. When it is the sole basis of an economic system, the only thing you're thinking about is profit. This encourages a cutthroat competition and selfish ambition that inspire men to be more I-centered than thou-centered. Yeah, you know why we don't want to investigate Rubus? Because we don't live next to Rubus. Not that one. Who mommy gets cancer? Not mine. 12,000 gallons? That's sad. Only people in Maryland I got to worry about? I don't live in Maryland. No. I really remember that. Why? Because it can mess up somebody's money, you see? I mean, some of the simple questions that we could ask, like, who own the gas station? Who put the tanks in?
Yeah.
Man, could we go there? Who put the tank in? I mean, let's call them. Them. So, again, the profit motive drives us to be cutthroat. Okay? He goes on to say, in another quote, money devoid of genuine empathy is like salt devoid of savor, good for nothing except to be trodden under foot of men. Money devoid of genuine empathy is like salt devoid of savor, good for nothing except to be trodden under foot of men. You have a lot of people walking around with a lot of money. You have a lot of people walking around with a lot of status. Not recognizing that at the end of the day, what's going to make you very wealthy or have a high status after this life ain't gonna be money.
That's for sure.
You can't carry none of that with you. And if you put the right standards in the people who you can leave it for, they can't keep it. You know how many businesses around here people work hard to build and then they give it to their children and they piss it away? I mean, gone. You mean such and such ain't open no more? Well, you give it to them. Tear them. They fighting over it now in court. You mean y'all couldn't figure out how to keep that place? That was a cash cow. Why? Because, unfortunately, the cutthroat mentality, the I-ness, the I gotta get, and I ain't checking for you, is what's causing people to not only lose their businesses, but right now we lose in the country. He goes on to say, when scientific power outruns moral power, we end up with guided missiles and misguided men. We end up with guided missiles and misguided men. I gotta say women too. I can't leave you alone. Got some misguided men and some misguided women. When we foolishly minimize the internal of our lives and maximize the external, we sign the warrant for our own day of doom. Our hope for creative living, we sign the warrant for our own day of doom. That is where my spirit was when I saw that there was people actually either bold enough or not bold enough to say, we don't want to investigate this Ruba situation. Well, you just sign your warrant for your doom. You just signed the warrant for your doom. This wasn't no secret meeting, you know. This is recorded in the annals of our history. You have children who have to live here after you, you know. Who got to get dealt with based on what you're doing in the House of Parliament. In the now. And I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying life longer than rope. Huh? Life longer than rope, man.
The True Light Fellowship Hour, brought to you by the Holy Qubtic Church, will be right back after these messages.
Have a damaged bumper and looking for quality work at a good price? Let Bumper Tech repair your bumper by remanufacturing it to its original specification. Bumper Tech also offers a full line of auto body repairs and a wide range of plastic welding and repairs. Call us today for an assessment at 394-0891, 676-2288, or visit us at Soldier Road Industrial Park. Bumper Tech, quality without compromise.
Art Ventures Limited, trading as Floral Arts, still creating beauty through the art of floral design. Your special occasion is all that matters to us, and we pride ourselves in maintaining close relationships with our clients. For wedding decor, receptions, or any special events, contact Art Ventures at 677-2860 or 393-3561. Visit our website at www.floralartsbahamas.com. Relax and let Floral Arts make your ideas come to life.
Welcome back to the True Light Fellowship Hour, brought to you by the Holy Qubtic Church, led in the Bahamas by Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Ka-Hun, Anku Sa Ra.
Once the aspirations and appetites of the world have been whetted by the marvels of Western technology and the self-image of a people awakened by religion, one cannot hope to keep people locked out of the earthly kingdom of wealth, health, and happiness. Either they share in the blessings of the world, or they organize to break down and overthrow those structures or governments which stand in the way of their goals. He didn't let us in. See, that's a little bit of Tupac. We always get this impression that Martin Luther King was soft, you see, because he was into non-violence. But that's Tupac right there.
Right there. That's right.
They got an interview with Tupac. Tupac say, man, y'all trying to figure out why I be mad? Tupac say, we watch y'all go into this room, right? And every time y'all open the door, we see food passing around and drinks and y'all sitting down and music playing. And he said, hey, y'all can pass us some food. We ain't got to come in there.
Yeah.
Pass us some food, man. Give me a little something. Bam, the door closed. All right. Tupac, what they say? Man, listen, they closed the door. All right, do what we can do. If we sing and dance outside this door, they can hear us singing and dancing, but they can let us in, but give us some food, please. Come on, we want something to drink too. And food, please.
Yeah.
Come on, we want something to drink too, right? And we throw a little kick spin in there, and when they open the door, we posing. Right? And they open the door. Boy, and look here, you remember the food they had before? They on the next set of food. But see, we ain't know nothing but advertising, entree and thing yet. But all we know is, remember they was eating on some little small boats? They eating on some big plate now. You serious, Tupac? Yeah, babe. What Tupac does a dread song? What you singing? They ain't say let you. They say ain't even say let you come in so you can bring us some food. No man, that was a nice song. So you know what the next song is? The next song is some gangster rap, man.
That's right.
Yeah? Kicking the door down, blazing. That's the next lyrics.
Yep.
Huh? The next video shoot is a riot.
That's right. That's right.
Huh? Say we can shoot a video today, no? But we ain't got no money to shoot the video. Watch this. Pass with the garbage. Both! Huh? Helicopters flying and we, yeah! CNN, what it is. We done cut all kind of video this week. Well, you gotta go on YouTube now and download it. It's straight. Right? And put your legs on. Yeah, man, that's me breaking up the police car, man. You know what I mean? And I laughing so we don't cry. Because the same thing's happening around here. Yeah. They find a girl hanging, well, they say she's hanging, yesterday. See the story made in the panel. The boys get shoot. Yesterday too, right?
Yesterday as well.
But you know why we're attacking each other? Because we can't talk when we want to talk. So that's why I'm trying to run them. You see what I'm saying? At some point, it could turn on you. Because you publicly saying, I ain't checking for you. Right? So, if you don't let people into the earthly heaven, so either they share in the blessings of the world, or they organize. See, that's the key word now. Eventually they can say, this ain't making no sense. Isn't that what's happening in Baltimore? And the Blood and the Crips and all those other gangs coming together now and saying, listen, we calling a truce. And not together the police. Because that's what they sent a big press statement. Oh, the gangs come together so they can get the police. Hello, they don't like you when they separated. They don't have to come together and not like you. They all have one thing in common. We don't like the police. Yeah. So they don't have to come together to get the police. They say we come together to quell this violence, man. This is our city.
That's right.
Yeah, we can be gangsters if we all make this. We can't go in other people's city and be gangsters. This is our place to be gangsters.
Yeah.
And now they recognizing we don't have to be gangsters. We could be a leader in this community and actually change. That's where the power is. Right? Either we share in the blessings of the world or they organize to break down and overthrow those structures or governments which stand in the way of their goals. One of the main reasons why we have crime is because we have so much wealth next to so much poverty. See, if everybody poor, we gonna be from. Everybody poor, everybody sit down in the tree and talk about what they wish could happen. That's how we used to be. And some people decide they want to get rich and they want to share.
Oh, God.
So to go from, well, you don't have the wish for a TV no more. You recognize. We done stand at the door and sing and thing and then will let us watch TV. Well, you don't stay home, you know. Boss man can only watch TV at night because he got to go to work all day to pay for the TV. That's where the conversation is going. Yeah, he could pay for another one. See, he get enough. We can take that off his hand. We ain't thief in the channel. He taking that off his hand. Right? And so there's another quote. I forgot to add this one to my notes, but I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah, man. That's unfortunately, again, I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that we should be going around and stealing people's stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But listen to what Dr. Martin Luther King said about a riot in Detroit. It said urban riots must now be recognized as durable social phenomena. They may be deplored, but they are there and should be understood. Urban riots are a special form of violence. They are not insurrections. The rioters are not seeking to seize territory or to attain control of institutions. They are mainly intended to shock the white community. See, remember when he asked you to come inside? Remember when he was saying all men are created equal? Remember that part? Well, I guess we ain't men, because we ain't equal. They are a distorted form of social protest, talking about riots. The looting, which is their principal feature, serves many functions. So, you know, as they was talking to the councilman in Baltimore, they were saying, well, you know, how you could say everything okay, because the councilman said, we asked the police to step out. We as men, we can deal with them boys. Don't worry about that. Everything is fine. How could you say everything is fine and they're looting the liquor store? Councilman said, this conversation is not productive.
That's right.
You go do another interview, because you don't understand what we're saying. We remember no liquor tonight. Right? So the looting serves several functions. It enables the most enraged and deprived Negro to take hold of consumer goods with the ease the white man does by using his purse.
Interesting.
Oh, this is how I feel to walk in the store and just get what you want. Because that's how some people's life is. Right? So looting ain't even about. Often the Negro does not even want what he takes.
Just get it.
I just want to know how I feel. He wants to experience of the taking. But this how it feels. This how the people feel when they come in that piece of plastic and just pointing and you put it in the bag and then they walk out. Right? But most of all, alienated from society and knowing that this society cherishes property above people, he is shocking it by abusing property rights. Oh, I ain't nobody? This building more important than me? Get me the kerosene, please. Please get me the kerosene. There are thus elements of emotional catharsis in the violent act. This may explain why most cities in which riots have occurred have not had a repetition, even though the causative conditions remain. So we don't get out of our system. Right? It is also noteworthy that the amount of physical harm done to white people other than police is infinitesimal. And in Detroit, whites and Negroes looted in unity. Wasn't just black people. And sweetie, they already broke the window. They're gonna blame us anyway.
Let's get ours.
We might
get something.
A profound judgment of today's riots was expressed by Victor Hugo a century ago. He said, if a soul is left in the darkness, sins will be committed. If a soul is left in the darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness.
Come on. Let's go.
Huh? Let's read that again. Turn your radio up.
That's right.
The guilty one is not the one who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness. The policymakers, and in America he says the white society, but in the black society of the Bahamas, the black people making policies have caused the darkness. Then you tell people you ain't interested in finding out why they catching cancer and why they getting sick. That's darkness, man. And you can cause sin.
Right.
Say sin lied at the well? The door.
Right there.
Right there. They create discrimination. They structured slums. And they perpetuate unemployment, ignorance, and poverty. It is incontestable and deplorable that Negroes have committed crimes. But they are derivative crimes. They that crimes born out of a vacuum. They are derivative crimes. We don't make guns in the Bahamas. So why do you have a gun problem? Who making the guns? Let's just skip past who bringing the guns in. Who's making the guns? Go find out where the gun factories are. Go find out who's funding these guns. And then if that ain't bad enough, they're making bullets too.
That's right.
Because if there's only making guns, we'd be alright. If they just put bullets in them. They are born of the greater crimes of the white society. This is Dr. Martin Luther King speaking in America. But we can't just say the white society. We can say the elite society. There's blacks up there too.
That's right.
When we ask Negroes to abide by the law, let's also demand that the white man abide by the law in the ghettos. Day in and day out, he violates welfare laws to deprive the poor of their meager allotments. He flagrantly violates building codes and regulations. His police make a mockery of law, and he violates laws on equal employment and education and the provisions for civic services. The slums are the handiwork of the vicious system of the elite society. You say white society, they say elite society. Negroes live in them but do not make them any more than a prisoner makes a prison. You're going to point at the slum like the people who live in there built it. Now, of course, in this country, see, people wanted to be elite, so they left the areas that they built, and they became slumlords. You understand? When we can win, child. You can live. I ain't got nothing against you living in. I ain't got nothing against you living Life and Key. I got family all over this island, from Life and Key to Benton to Benton. Right? Don't mix up what I saying. I ain't saying you're supposed to strive to become better in life. That's not what we saying. But don't forget where you come from, man.
I'm on.
Or you could be scared to come in Benton. And you from Benton. My Lord. That's where your church is? Is it safe? Is it safe? You say church means a club. We ain't there with God. We ain't there with the Most High. Is it safe? They got all the murders happening in Benton, in Fox Hill. People on Facebook say, but you got a gun through winning? This was yesterday. They say, when? When? Let us say boldly that if the violations of law by the elite, or in this case with Martin Luther King, by the white man, in the slums over the years were calculated and compared with the law-breaking of a few days of riots, the hardened criminal would be the white man. The hardened criminal would be the elite if we simply looked at all of the crimes that they have put in place by way of policy making. Where's the money from the Raganite coming? Where's that going? You telling us we need VAT, but you telling us we don't need to know how much money the country making and where it going. But we need VAT though. And you working for us. Yeah, employee coming to you saying, listen, I need you to sign me out. Now you see it, right? I need a purchase order for 6 bags of cement. Right? Also, you already used 6 bags. Don't worry about that. This is your employee now. You paying him. Matter of fact, make that 10. You need 10 bags. I thought you had enough bags for that job. I tell you, don't worry about that. You got to petition your employee for a Freedom of Information Act. Could you please tell me what you did with the other bag of cement, what I sent you on the job site with? Could I come and look? Don't get ahead of yourself, boss.
You can't find me either.
You can't find me. Cause I working for you for 5 years. Like, you got a job for at least 5 years. So don't ask me nothing.
Yeah. John.
Huh?
Give the profession to the professional.
But I can need this bag of cement though. Matter of fact, I already have the cement. Matter of fact, starting January 1st, I taking as much cement as I want. I can take 7.5% of every bag of cement, eh? You building a house for Yanni. You building a house for cousin. Huh? You building a house for who come first? First come, first serve. That's what going on in this country. But you can't tell me where that Ragonite money. You can't collect national insurance. We're coming straight on our check. You only collecting, what, 30-something% of that? That's a cash cow. And you telling me, but you need another tax where all kind of people, they say over 4,000 different businesses sign up to collect VAT. That's what you did. To collect VAT. You ain't paying no VAT because they're supposed to give it back to you. So now you got 4,000 people to get money from. And you can collect that. And remember now, I don't have the right to find out how much you collecting. Whatever you tell me, I just gotta accept that. Now I know they'll challenge and say, no, when we put stuff out, you put it out. That's the freedom of information now. Where I don't have to ask you nothing. Just come, let me see.
It's there.
Yeah, let me see what's going on, man. Huh? Otherwise, you're causing darkness, and darkness can cause sin. And sin lied at the your law. Who causing darkness? These are often difficult things to say. But I have come to see more and more that it is necessary to utter the truth in order to deal with the great problems that we face in our society. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Right? So they could afford to one point at us as a people and say what we doing wrong. But if they causing darkness, then they can be causing sin. So the last quote reads, "The time has come for an all-out world war against poverty." All-out world war against poverty. The rich nations must use their vast resources of wealth to develop the underdeveloped, school the unschooled, and feed the unfed. The well-off and the secure have too often become indifferent and oblivious to the poverty and deprivation in their midst. They act like they didn't see it. We got extra grade of 10, so they can't see when they're driving through. The poor in our countries have been shut out of our minds and driven from the mainstream of our societies because we have allowed them to become invisible. Oh, you don't want to see me? Oh, well, I see you later. That's what they're saying, you know. That's why in my I say, let's go to Baintown. Let's put the church in Baintown. Why are you going to Baintown? I say, because I want to meet some of these brothers in the day and their face before they come meet me in my driveway. That's why. Because you can't say what you wouldn't do if your children crying and they hungry. You could afford to say you wouldn't rob. You could afford to say you wouldn't put a gun in someone's face. You could afford to say that. But you don't know what you would do or wouldn't do if your children hungry. Never mind you know. You might ball up for a little bit and get some tea. But if your child hungry, trust me. Trust me. You get in the backyard to dig that thing up. That's what's going on in this country. So you want to make people invisible? They can make sure they poof appear when you least expect them. No individual or nation can be great if it does not have a concern for the least of these. For the least of these. And so 15 members of the governing Progressive Liberal Party, the PLP, did not heed the admonition of one of their own. So man, let's check this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who won't check this out. Jerome Fitzgerald? He said no. A marathon MP. The people voted him in and put him in there to speak on their behalf. So you mean to tell me the people in Marathon sent him in there to say no? No. Careless Roy said no. Why Careless say no? Jerome say no. I mean, Jerome say no, and he's the MP. I mean, everybody else now, and he say no. Gregory K. Moss said no. Cleola Hamilton, that's the nurse. It's the nurse. No. Ronaldo Curry said no. Dr. Bernard Nortich, our neighbor. No. This guy need a gun. Gotta get two now. Frederick Mitchell said no. No man jacking us below. Philip Brave Davis. You don't call me brave for nothing. You wasn't brave this time, brave. You was scared. You said no. Shane Gibson? Well, he said no. Damien Gomez. I thought you was asking me if they wanted water. I was saying no to the water. Right. Holstrom? No. Hopeless Johnny. My Lord. V out for the grave. Well, hey.
What can I say?
I would say no, man. No, I'm not hungry. Not the same, but I wasn't hungry. Melanie Griffin. No, correct me if I'm wrong. That's social service, eh?
Yes. Right. Yes.
Like serving the society people. Karen. No. But I guess she's saying, but we just passed a disabled bill, so if you get disabled by the gas, we got a bill for you. Arnold Forbes? No. Last but not least, Leslie Miller. You know Leslie. Leslie trying to keep the light on right now by the truck. He ain't even hearing what you saying right now. No, listen, right now, all of them lights can't come off. So no oxygen but no gas right now, unless it's for a generator. And so, for those 15 members, and this is the word that I got. It said no. Am I speaking ill of you? No, I'm not speaking ill of you. I'm simply saying to each and every one of you and your family members, it's time to now take stock. It's time to pull the plumb line back out. It's time to pull the level back out. Because when you could, through fair or through towing the party line, because that's all this is, you know. Yeah. Do they care for those people? Of course they care for those people. But when your party politics is more important than your care for people, it's time for you to come out of politics.
Yes. Yeah.
And some of y'all been in there too long.
That's right.
Some of y'all just reached, and you need to go with the ones who be in there.
That's true.
If they don't contaminate you.
Yes.
You understand? And so, I don't say any of this to disrespect them. You know, many of them, I think all of them are my elders. But in being our elders, they should act like our elders, eh?
That's right.
Don't just be in politics and supposed to be serving us, and you serving yourself. You're misguided, man. And so I want to let these politicians know that in their blood, as we end, they have the blood of a tribe called Yasha in them. And Yasha is a word that means upright. Every time you see the word upright, biblically, if you go to Psalm chapter 11.
You have been listening to the True Light Fellowship Hour, brought to you by the Qubtic Church of the Black Messiah, Journey Home Group International, and our advertising partners, of whom we are very thankful. We are located at number 72 Meadow Street in historic Baintown and led in the Bahamas by Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Ka-Hun, Anku Sa Ra. If this message has been a blessing to you today, and you feel it in your heart to assist us in bringing forth this weekly message by way of advertising or otherwise, or you wish a copy of this message, we ask that you please contact us at 242-426-1148 or email us at qubticrevealer@gmail.com. That's QUBTIC revealer@gmail.com, or on Facebook, the Qubtic Church of the Black Messiah Journey Home Group International, Bahamas branch. We bow to the divinity in each and every one of you by saying, Namastu.
Eluti mingi ngana kukukateo.